Hey, how's it going, guys? It is Fox98 here, and welcome back to a brand new video for you guys today here on the channel. Today, I am going to be ranking the F1 2021 liveries. If you haven't enjoyed today's video, feel free to drop it a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well. And I'm going to put this out here before the video obviously begins because it always happens when everyone does a ranking video or just basically states their own opinion. As I literally just said right then, this is my own personal opinion. So your guys, I know, will 100% be different to mine. So, in the comment section down below, just politely respond with your personal opinion because I guarantee you they will be different to mine. But as long as you're responsible and speak to your opinion and also respect other people's opinions, then hey ho, and don't try and make my videos influence your opinion as well. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But let's get straight into it then and start ranking these liveries and giving you guys the lowdown on what I think is the worst and the best livery on the grid. So starting things off with number 10 then, I have picked the Williams FW42B as the worst livery on the grid. Now, Williams have gone with a different approach to this year's livery. Last year, we saw a lot of sort of very nice white and blue with some really nice blue arrows that were very similar to the Mercedes star on the rear. And that was after, obviously, it was initially a rocket Williams racing, but that obviously never transpired into anything. But that livery was actually really, really nice. But then when the new investment came in from, I can't remember their name, to be honest, Darlington or whatever it is, they sort of like introduced more black on the bit of the car and it just looks stupid. And unfortunately, again, they've done it here. So the car itself, if you're riding on board from a T-Cam, it doesn't look too bad. And I do respect the idea around it, how they wanted to go back to their roots with the yellow, the white and the blue, but it doesn't represent the good old classic canon modern livery. You know, when we're talking like trying to make it a modern classic, it's not that. I don't like the color palettes. I don't like the shapes and the designs. And especially from the picture that I've also got on screen at the moment right now, the way that the black just sort of splits the rear chassis in half and then dips down inwards again, it's just ugly. I'm sorry. I can't really say much more than that. It's not a car that I really like, and unfortunately, Williams comes in at number 10. Coming in at number 9 now, and I have picked Al-Fatari as number 9. Now, this is actually going to be, again, I mean, like I said, these are all my own opinions, but this one's a little bit of an interesting one. Basically, a lot of people have been putting Al-Fatari really high up on the list when I saw people on Twitter putting out their liveries. For me, it's not high up on my list though, and the reason for that is I just don't like the colour scheme. I never did. The Alphatari, when they launched the AT01 last season, I just looked at it and I thought, meh. For me, you know, Alphatari, I mean, it's a completely different brand, so on that respect, you know, their livery is going to be different anyway, but for me, I just don't like it. It's just not I don't like the navy blue. I don't know, I just don't like the colours. That's just my own personal opinion. For me, if I'm talking like a modern classic, a livery that you can keep for a while, the Toro Rosso from 2017, 18 and 19 was godsend beautiful. Whereas the Alphatari, it's just not. I just don't like it. And obviously I know what they've done. They've reversed the colour palette so that they've got the primary colour as the navy and the secondary colour as the white. For me, I think if you flip that back round and redid it the way that you did and had the navy as the secondary colour and the white as the primary colour, it would be quite nice. Now, I'll be saying this about the Red Bull car a little bit later on, but what I will give it props for is the Honda decal on the rear wing. I don't know what it is, but I really, really like it. So Alphatari is coming in at number 9. Right, next up then, number 8 on my list, I've gone with Ferrari. Unfortunately for me, I don't like the Ferrari livery this year. In fact, I think it's one of the weakest Ferrari liveries that they have made. There is so much that I just don't like about the car. So we'll start things off then. First things first, we have obviously got the green Mission Winnow logo. Why is that a thing? I don't know. It's stupid and it's unnecessary, and I don't care if it's to do with like flashback and evolution and whatever. Why do you put green on a like all that's going to happen is you're just going to get side-on pictures of a Ferrari and then someone green screening it and making a meme out of the logo, which has already been done. But I don't know. I don't like the. First of all, I don't like the Mission Win Our logo. It's pathetically dull and stupid. It should be in either white or black. I don't like the fact that the burgundy gradient is so just non-existent. It's literally just red, 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 burgundy. But, you know, there's no subtle gradient to fade into that burgundy. It's just a straight slash down the back. If you sort of did if you did a proper gradient on the car, it would actually be better, and I think it would work that way. Plus, as well, seeing the gradient in a matte color, in a matte finish, is not nice. At the Tuscan Grand Prix for Ferrari's 1000th race, I'm pretty sure that livery was not a matte finish. I'm pretty sure it was like a metallic or gloss finish, and it just looks so much nicer. In fact, the Ferrari at the Tuscan Grand Prix did look quite nice, actually, now that I look back on it. Whereas the matte finish, it's not very nice. Credit where it's due, though. The numbers, they have gone back to the numbers that they did use at the Tuscan Grand Prix and the classic Ferrari numbers from, you know, back when they were first into Formula 1. And they're nice. I do like the numbers. And then the final issue that I've got is, again, the Mission Win Our sponsor decals on the rear wing of the car. With a burgundy rear end and black decals, you can't see them. There's no point in doing that. I don't know what Ferrari were thinking, trying to do that. It just doesn't work. I don't like it. And unfortunately, like I said, it is a very weak Ferrari, and it comes in at number 8. Right, now, coming in at number 7, get your pitchforks ready, get your shotguns out, because you're going to want to murder me. It's Aston Martin Racing, or Cognizant Aston Martin, which was very much at the top of a lot of people's lists. In fact, it was one of the most popular liveries that was out there. But for me, I don't like it. I really don't. It was very underwhelming when the car launched. I was really looking forward to seeing the Aston Martin, and I was left with this. I don't like the green. To me, I know it's not. It's an Aston Martin type of green, not a British racing green. I want a different shade of green. I want a proper British racing green. That would have been nice. The pink that's on the car, I don't necessarily mind that you're adding the pink onto the car because BWT are not a title sponsor anymore, but they're retaining their sponsorship brand with Aston Martin. I mean, they've copied Mercedes with the way that the pink strapes across, but it's just underwhelming. I was expecting a lot from the Aston Martin, and it just isn't very nice. Like I said, I just don't like the green. The pink doesn't really work. Maybe if I don't know. I might have to design it in Photoshop and get an Aston Martin livery in the F1 2020 game, and try it, because with Mercedes' like strip in 2019, it was almost like a lightsaber glow, like it was white with a outer glow of that Petronas green. Whether if I tried to do like an outer glow with that type of pink and see if it would make a difference, I'm not sure. And then my final bugbear is the numbers. They are massive and it's completely unnecessary and it just looks stupid. Unfortunately, Aston Martin, it's not a livery that I personally like, but that's what you get when you rank your liveries with your own opinion. Coming in then at number 6, I have gone with the Haas F1 team. Yes, if we were basing this just on the thought process alone, this would be at the bottom of my list. But obviously, I'm actually trying to be non-biased here because I freaking hate Nikita Mazepin with an absolute passion. But unfortunately, his dad has got a buttload of cash, and I'm actually making a bold prediction out here. I don't know what Nikita Mazepin's father's name is, but I can see him purchasing and buying out Haas either the end of this season or the end of 2022. I think Haas F1 will only be in Formula 1 for the next 1 to 2 seasons, with Mazepin's daddy buying out the team. That's my own opinion. But taking that aside, the car itself, using the colour schemes of white, red and blue, is fine. The fact that it's all done in a Russian flag with an American car is a bit weird. And I don't know, it's a weird feeling, but there are some angles, which is why it's higher up on my list, which I actually don't mind, and especially riding on board with it, because I've obviously, when I've done these ranking videos now, pre-season testing finished, it finished yesterday. I wanted to make sure that I did this ranking video once I'd seen the cars out on track in testing, in the daylight, in the nighttime. And for me, like, seeing the Haas, especially on board, again, kind of like the Williams, apart from just overall the Williams was ugly, the Haas is alright. It's not spectacular, it's not terrible. it's just alright. And that's kind of why I put it as number 6. Good colour schemes, just Russian. Yay. Big up Mazepin. Coming in then at number 5 on my list, I have picked Red Bull Racing to go in at number 5. Now, why did I pick Red Bull here? Now, when I did a community post, so throughout the entirety of the livery launches, I put out a community tab and put a poll and gave like a little out of 10 and everything. And I was basically just very overreactive, and I just went straight 0 out of 10 because it was the same old livery that we've seen from 2016. Now, I'm going to put my opinions out here. I personally much prefer the Infinity Red Bull Racing that we saw from 2013 or even like 2011, you know, like from, what was it, 2009 I'd say onwards, or maybe a bit prior to that actually. That sort of glowing purple on the side pods, especially the 2013 livery in general, was by far one of my favourite Red Bulls. In fact, it is my favourite Red Bull livery that they have made. And I understand what Red Bull are doing here, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to make this a modern classic livery. And if you look at other liveries like Marlborough Mclaren, like that was on the car for at least nearly 20 years. And everyone's like, this is such an iconic livery. Go back to even Vodafone McLaren, and I mean, they started the initial chrome color, chrome silver, with the red in 2006. They were just a Fly Emirates sponsor, not Vodafone. And that went on until 2013. So that's still 7 years of pretty much the same livery. Well, there was a cheeky little printer just going off for no reason. But yeah, they did that livery for 7 years. So, and people still say it's, you know, it's an absolute classic and it's a glorious livery. And I loved it. But you know, and I can see what they're trying to do here. They're just, you know, I mean, they're just making it a modern classic. This is the Red Bull of this era of Formula 1. And I don't hate it. I just prefer the older Red Bull versions. But as I said with the Alfa-Tauri, this gets a bit of extra props because the Honda decal on the rear wing, I don't know what it is, but it's banging and I like it. So it's number 5 on my list. Coming in then at number 4 for my F1 2021 livery rankings. This was a tough one actually. I didn't really know where to put this one, but I picked Alpine to go at number 4. Now, this was a really big toss-up between Alpine and what you're going to see as number 3 on my list. But this was a very difficult one. Now, the Alpine livery is beautiful. I really like the car a lot. I love the blue. I didn't like the testing livery. I felt like a black was just a bit too boring, considering we'd seen Renault beforehand, before it was converted to Alpine. Before we saw them just have so much black on their car, it was boring. The fact that this is sort of like a mixture of a matte gloss blue with the red and the white and the way that it fades in, it's really nice. There's two things that I don't necessarily am a bit bugbeared about. So the Alpine logo itself, like the little where it fades into the actual Alpine red and the white on the rear of the car, I kind of prefer that if it was in the middle of the chassis instead of right at the rear of the car. I think it probably would look cooler. I think Tomo did when he did his like livery redesigns. I watched all of those, and he did that and put it in the middle, and it just looked much nicer. Also, with what you can see on your screens right now, I don't know why this is annoying me, guys, and this is just how picky and annoying I am. The RCI Bank and Services logo right next to the S duct and right next to the number, it almost looks like they're overlapping each other, but they're not because the 31 dips into the S duct. The fact that those two are so close to each other, it just looks so stupid, and I don't know why it's annoying me so much. But I was speaking to my cousin last night, and yeah, I was getting really triggered by it. If it was just put down onto the front nose where just above the Pirelli logo, it would have been fine. Why they had to stick it up there, I don't know. It just looks like someone forgot and was like, oh crap, let me just put it there, I don't know. There's just so much extra space then on the front wing that's completely unused. It just looks silly to me. So yeah, apart from that, I mean, also from this picture as well, that massive airbox as well, that thing's thick with 3 C's and a capital K. But that's not besides the point. I'm not looking at the looks of the car. I'm looking at the livery. So yeah, that's number 3. Next up then, and number 3 on my list is, funnily enough, who came number 3 in the 2020 Constructors' Championship. It is McLaren, P number 3. Now, why have I put McLaren as 3rd in this ranking when it's the same livery as last year? Well, this is where I go down the route of, if it isn't broken, don't fix it. And that's literally the McLaren in general. What they've done is they've made subtle changes to the top of the engine cover and to the side pods, and actually, it's an improvement. The way that they've done it, I mean, this picture that I've got of Lando Norris right now, not really the best way of explaining it because it doesn't show it. But basically the way that the side, let's start with the bottom of the side pod first. Initially, it just sort of went through and then it rounded downwards, whereas this time the whole chassis sort of rides upwards and then goes in towards the rear. For me, that's a nicer design on the bottom of the side pod. And then on the engine cover itself, again, it just looks a little bit more cleaner. For me, I think it's just subtle tweaks to what is already a great livery to make it even better. The only bugbear that I've got is the blue that's on the front nose, which is why, again, I mean, this picture helps me out a lot with showcasing that, but the blue on the front nose, to me, is just a little bit unnecessary. I would have personally just left it orange, and then because, again, having it in blue and then seeing that random sponsor just by there and then seeing the carbon fiber piece and then the McLaren logo, to me is unnecessary. I don't kind of like it. What I probably would have preferred is that they got rid of the blue that's on the front nose now, left that in papaya orange, and then the black front nose area that they've copied off of Mercedes with the McLaren logo, changed that to blue instead. I think that would look much nicer in my opinion. But for me, it's a great livery. I loved it last year. I love it again this year. And the designs that they have done, well, quite frankly, like I said, they've just tweaked it and made it better. Coming in then at number 2, it is Alfa Romeo. And this is how you swap color palettes over properly. Alphatari, I don't like the color scheme for it anyway, but Alfa Romeo, the purpose of this is quite simple. Just make the primary color white and the secondary color red. There's only one word that I have to describe the Alfa Romeo livery: sexy. It's just sexy. That's what it is. It's just a beautiful, sexy little beast. And you, again, seeing it on the screen from the sides here. The only thing I don't like about the Alfa Romeo is I don't like the numbers. I don't know. They're just a bit weird. I don't know. I don't like the font. Is that being really picky? Yeah, probably is, but who cares? That's pretty much one of the only real things I don't like about it. I would have probably said that if they got rid of the navy blue that goes down the side of down the front nose like they've had for the past few seasons and changed that into the red, that would be fine. I like how they've split the red and the white on the rear wing, but honestly, I would have just preferred it if they just made the entire rear wing in that red, because the glossy reds that Alfa Romeo use is just sexy, as I've said again. For me, it works. I love it, and yeah, it comes in at number 2. But it doesn't quite come in at number 1. Last but certainly not least, we're all fed up of seeing this at... Well, I'm not necessarily. I just prefer close championships. But we're all fed up of seeing Mercedes at number 1. But unfortunately, on my livery rankings list, they are number 1. Now, let's get into it, because we've got some AMG to talk about here, which is annoying moped golfer. I don't really know. Anyway, let's go into the Mercedes then and pretty much discuss why I put this as number 1. The Mercedes-Benz 2021 livery is the definition of Marmite. You either hate this livery or you love this livery. I'm in the section where I absolutely adore this livery. Now, let me go and talk about the points on why I love this livery, and then I'm also going to compare it to the 2020 livery from last year. First things first, the Petronas green on the front nose I actually like. I really like that they've added some more green, Petronas green on the front nose, front wing, sorry. For me, I probably would have preferred it if they just expanded it to the entirety of the front wing. I think that would have looked super cool. I've done it a lot in my modding F1 journeys and just modding in general. I think it would have looked super, super cool. The Ineos Burgundy Red, the fact that they've made it slightly more reddish this year, feels like a step in the right direction. I felt like the actual Ineos Burgundy that they used in 2020 was pretty boring and quite bad. Then the Ineos Red that goes onto the inner front wing end plates, for me, are an improvement again. I still like them, and I like that the red that they've done with them, and it works. And for me, it's cool. Next up then, we've got the Petronas green stripe that we know goes across the front nose of the car, then follows off onto the side pods of the car. Again, for me, it's just nice. I also really like the silver line that also goes above that. A very nice touch in there to bring some of the silver back into what is, in quotes, the silver arrows. A big plus for me as well, the Petronas green on the halo, nice addition. I like that they've put that on there. Seeing that car on T-cams on boards is really, really nice. Shout out to the numbers. The numbers are I love them. I like the way that they've made the numbers. They're really, really cool. If they were, I don't know whether I'd like them if the numbers were filled in or not. They can sometimes be a little bit hard to see, which is a bit confusing because in 2017, Fernando Alonso's McLaren, I remember, and Stoffel Vandoorne's McLaren had that same number feature where it was just the outer font. There was no fill-in. It was just outer colour of white, and then there was no fill. And then for the Spanish Grand Prix onwards, they made it so that everyone's numbers had to be more clear, and that they filled it in the end, whereas Mercedes haven't done that. It's a little bit hard to see the actual full number, but still, nonetheless, it's banging. And then we're going to go to the piece of the puzzle where everyone is screaming about, and that is the AMG Spam. Now, I'll be perfectly honest, in the renders shots that they initially released before the reveal, it was okay, it wasn't special. Then seeing it in the real life, for me, I think they've actually aced it. I'm being honest, I just think that they've aced it. I think it looks really, really nice, especially on track. It's not too bold, it's not too out there. And like I said, I went back and watched F1 2020 Grand Prix because they're available on F1 TV. And for me, just seeing the stars on there, I love the stars, don't get me wrong. But just comparing the two liveries, just getting this livery and then going back and looking at this livery in real term when they're actually racing on circuit, for me, this is by far my favourite livery. The only bugbear, if I had to pick one, is the Petronas green stripe that is prominent on the side of the car. I wish they went back to the 2019 version where it was literally white with an outer glow of Petronas green. That was bloody awesome, and I really, really liked it. But there is my F1 2021 liveries ranked from worst to best. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think is your top 10, and I'll be sure to have a look at them and see what you guys think. But like I said, this is just my own opinion, so please don't shoot me, but you probably already have. But I'm still alive, so clearly I'm doing well. But if you guys enjoyed today's video, drop it a like, subscribe if you're new here as well, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care all. Peace.